The Screensavers, followed by Pulse at 8 and the Electric Playground at 9.
Coming up tonight, we're going to reveal the forbidden truth behind Area 51. Plus, turn your USB thumb drive into a password vault and Intel's brand new CPUs and chipsets. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. This is the place that Windows hackers, Mac addicts, and Linux lovers can all call home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Together.
They
all get
One
along.
happy family.
At least until a new game gets released on Windows, not the other two.
Then they fight.
And get bitter. It's going to be a great show tonight. We're going to find out what's really going on at Area 51 and how they, well...
That's interesting.
That's pretty... The story is that some people have been mapping sort of the sensors outside of Area 51. You got actually to talk to these guys.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk to them here today. It's live.
Did you ever... You were a child of Las Vegas. Did you ever go wandering up there?
Well, I was at the Nevada test site, which, of course, Area 51. I worked there for a while.
So you were one of the guys that were pointing guns in their direction.
Well, I didn't have anything to do with guns. I just fixed the computers there. But, yeah, it was part of the test site. It was kind of the upper right-hand corner of the test site. We weren't allowed to go there, but it was cool.
You never snuck over there?
I didn't really do much of stuff over there.
Just kind of went to work. Just
pretty much.
You are so lying. Robert Heron is here to give us the inside scoop on Intel's new CPU and chipsets. And Dan, what's going on in the Nook?
Hello. I'm back from New Jersey, guys.
Woohoo!
We went to the Digital Digs Roadshow, which is a lot of fun.
What's the craziest thing that you signed?
The craziest thing I signed there, I'm so embarrassed to admit it. Yoshi and I signed a pair of tidy whities.
A tidy whities? From a girl?
From a dude.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Were they clean or were they dirty?
He just pulled them out of the package, so he just bought them. But oh my God. But anyways, let me tell you.
Did you get a dinner invitation, or?
I don't know. I don't even talk about it anymore, Patrick.
Hey, how can people, if they have a question other than whether or not you'll
guys,
sign
don't forget, we're taking your live calls every weekday from 5 to 8 Eastern. So even if you're watching a repeat of our show on Tuesdays and Fridays, we'll be here taping shows and taking your live calls. So the number to call us is 888-989-7879. And best of all, call an hour before the show. That's your best way to get in. And also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dan. I also want to say real quick, over the weekend, I downloaded some new ringtones. Big new thing going on here. I want you to listen to these and see if you recognize them. What is this ringtone?
Super Mario Brothers Fun.
Super Mario Brothers. I got a bunch of them on here, but I just want to let everybody know at home. If you go to kevinrose.com, I got links, free downloads for ringtones. It's a great little site. I thought I'd mention it.
Are they legal ringtones?
I don't know if they're legal or not. No, I believe they are.
Right.
I believe they are. So
okay,
we'll see how long the site stays up.
Yeah, it's always funny to see like ringtones are always like Bob's ringtone.
Yeah, and then the site goes down like 48 hours later after they took everyone's credit card information.
Exactly.
So let's hope this one will stay up for a while. They're free.
It's cool though.
It is cool. Mario
Bros.
Brothers and Tecmo Bowl. Tecmo Bowl is the best. Love Tecmo Bowl. It's a great game.
Time for the tech news that caught our eye today. Sarah, you have an amazing first story today.
I do, and actually, it's their story. At about 6:45 this morning, privately owned manned spacecraft, Spaceship One, made a 62-mile ascent into space. Civilian and now astronaut Mike Melville flew the hybrid motored rocket into space courtesy of Scaled Composites. That's the company who designed and built this rocket. Spaceship One's flight marked the highest altitude ever reached by a privately owned manned aircraft. That is so cool.
I think it's cool, but at the same time, it's like it didn't actually go into orbit. They weren't like floating around there. So it's like, it feels kind of janky to me. They don't seem like they really didn't go in
It's a
space.
big first step.
Yeah.
It's way up there.
For the private sector.
Yeah, I mean, it's high enough up there where they can get into that whole, right stuff, hurtling, crashing, descent out of the heavens kind of zone.
But they say that they're going to start, charging for this eventually and sending people up, or...
Well, this is part of it. Basically, this is one of the crew that's competing for the X Prize, which is basically, putting people in space, a multiple group of space, a returnable vehicle, relaunchable vehicle.
Right.
And yeah, well, the idea is that, it's kind of funny. you know, it could lead to, you know, commercial space flight. It could lead to personal space flight. You know, what are you doing? I'm going to do a couple loops around the atmosphere. I mean, it's kind of weird to think that it's getting to the point where individuals, well, probably not individuals, the individuals be able to actually buy tickets to see what it looks like from up above. I don't know why.
I'd be down with that. I'd be cool with that, but I just want to make sure that I'm at least floating around a little bit. You know? I want to be in.
You want to be weightless.
Yeah. Exactly.
You want to spend like a couple days. You want to do the loop over the the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
And
Wouldn't you feel a little gypped if you went up there and it's just like an airplane ride? You'd be like, oh, that kind of sucked. This wasted like 20 grand.
Well,
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. And you get your little certificate so you can hang it on your wall. And you go, hey Bob, you may have a 300 par on the. You know what I mean? It's like, but I blew 20 grand on going into space.
I'm down with the certificate. I like those kinds of things.
You like that idea?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You don't think it's cool because you haven't done it. If you did, he'd be like, I'm astronaut Rose.
That's true.
It's probably true.
So
He'd probably be wearing a jumpsuit.
That's right. They come in
with all
with
the
a jumpsuit
patches on it.
It'd be like the cool thing to wear. You walk around with a jumpsuit.
Yo.
What?
I love that show.
Okay, apparently Microsoft's Hotmail service plans to join the email storage race with Google and Yahoo by upping user storage limits. Not real surprising. However, some folks think that Hotmail and Yahoo are playing just a little bit dirty. Several Hotmail users have reported that invitations to Google's Gmail are not being received. Wow, who would have thought? Leading some to wonder whether Hotmail is intentionally blocking the invitations. Yahoo spam filter has also been known to send Gmail invitations straight to the bulk mail folder. Now, we've been trying this. It's not consistently doing such a thing. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
This sounds like a thing that Microsoft would do, though. I mean, leave it to Microsoft to block Gmail invites.
Well, yeah, maybe they're doing it on the flip side. It's like people are like, Yahoo's putting it in the, Yahoo puts everything in spam.
That's true.
Stuff I've subscribed to, stuff I've taken out of spam, stuff that I've paid for to receive.
I can understand
it all goes into the spam bucket.
But blocking it altogether, they're not receiving it.
Yeah, it's even weird. Yeah, it's like black holing it because they're not even getting a bounce on the reverse side. I don't know. It's kind of curious.
Yeah, it is.
Let's
test it out some more.
You know what? We can hire a spammer because it's pretty easy to send email to everyone at Hotmail. We can have them ask everyone at Hotmail if they've received any Gmail invitations.
Works for me.
There we go.
Done.
Anyhow, thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thanks
You know what ringtone I'd like to hear?
What's that?
You have the Super Mario where he's up on the thing. I want him to go down into the pipe.
Oh,
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
I love it. There's got to be those out there.
You know,
And
you know
the coins, too.
Oh, I love that one.
I want
Try
the
to
little
find that one, and I'll be a believer.
That'd be good.
Yeah, they're all cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to find some more.
No, we did with our childhoods.
Sarah needs to do a roundup of ringtone sites. That would be cool.
As long as we don't hear the Ms. Pac-Man one. For some reason, that one drives me nuts.
Thomas!
We digress, Thomas. How's life in Newport, Oregon?
Oh, it's not too bad.
Do you have the ringtones out there?
Well, we just got AT&T, but we've had Verizon for a while. Of course, my parents don't have either, so I'm stuck on the old Nokia phones with little ringtone.
I got that.
I like
Mine's not even a Nokia. It's like a, Samsung LG.
The polyphonic, and the new ones play MP3s. Those are even better. Anyway, you have a question for us, Thomas.
You love
Yes,
buying
I
new
do.
phones.
My question is about my video card. I have a Radeon 9600 Pro, and when I was playing like Battlefield Vietnam, I was getting a little bit of sketchy performance.
Right.
And I was wondering, there's a driver update on Windows Update, but I've had some problem with those with like NVIDIA drivers for another computer. So I was wondering, do I get the updates for drivers off Windows Update, or do I go to the ATI website?
Yeah, I'd go directly to the ATI website.
Yeah.
Go to the ATI website. If you have an NVIDIA card, go to the NVIDIA website.
I was going to say, from what I've seen, they've been a little bit behind the times when it comes to drivers. They put it up there, but it seems to be like a version later. It takes a few weeks.
Well, there's also, Microsoft's a little behind the times. There's also some what they call like our non-WCL certified, or the Windows Hardware Compatibility Labs, which is, it's nice to have, Hardware Compatibility Labs tested drivers, but basically that means somebody spent a lot of money and a lot of time running a driver through approval at Microsoft. That doesn't necessarily make it that much of a better driver. And on top of that, the guys that are writing the code, the men and women that are writing the code, are basically, they're always moving ahead. So you're going to get the latest possible refinement.
Right, the certified ones are going to be definitely a few weeks old. Probably best bet is to go directly to the site.
Okay, so just ATI.com.
ATItech.com.
ATItech.com?
No, it's ATItech.com.
Oh, interesting.
Actually, what do you have the 96? Just out of curiosity, how much memory do you have in that system?
RAM or video memory?
RAM.
512 megabytes.
Okay. The other thing you might want to start thinking about is updating the memory a little bit.
Yeah, I've wanted to go up to a gig.
That'll help. What about the processor?
It's a Pentium 4 2.6 gigahertz.
It's got a great processor on there. Yeah, it should be in pretty good shape. Yeah, it's like, here we go, display driver. What are they up to? 6.4, 6.14.10. So yeah, I'd go ahead and just go straight to ATI.
Okay, so atitech.com.
ATItech.com.
And for all the other people that have NVIDIA, NVIDIA.com for those drivers.
Yeah, the Catalyst driver. And actually, it's 8.2. Yeah, that'll be good.
Cool.
It's a good thing. Good luck, Thomas. That should actually help out a lot. We're just getting started. Intel's new CPUs. Well, actually, Intel's new motherboards with the PCI Express bus. Hit the stores today. We got them, and Robert Heron joins us to take a closer look later on. But right after the break, is Area 51 alien infested? What are these sensors? Why is the government hiding them in the desert around Area 51? We're going to talk about all this madness right after the commercial break.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. It's time to meet Jorg. He's a researcher who's been involved in uncovering the truth behind his secret military base in the Nevada desert called Area 51. Today, Jorg joins us from Las Vegas to explain exactly what has been going on and what he's uncovered. Welcome to the show, Jorg.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be on the show.
It's great to have you. First question for you. Most people that don't know, what is Area 51?
Well, Area 51 is a lot of different things for a lot of different people. For the most part, it's a secret research and development facility in the mountains of the Nevada desert, where the government can pretty much do their secret research that they need to do to provide us with new military hardware. It has been rumored that some people think that Area 51 is also housing UFOs, and other conspiracy theories are involved with Area 51. For the most part, my thinking is that it is a secret research and development facility.
Now, Area 51's been around for quite some time. How long have you been investigating it?
I've been investigating Area 51 for about 5 years now, and in those 5 years I've seen some interesting things flying out of Area 51. Some things I could identify, some things I could not identify.
So you're saying aliens then, basically?
No, I'm not saying aliens. I'm saying some super secret development that is taking place at Area 51. But I believe, and most of the people that belong to this little research community that we have set up, they believe that this is actually a very earthly technology.
Now, we've seen Area 51 mentioned on, the X-Files, and I mean, it's been around since the 60s. Why do you think that there's still, with it being so in the public limelight nowadays, why do you think that there's still top secret development going on there?
Oh, it's just a perfect setting for secret development. Area 51 was first established in the mid-1950s for the U-2 program, and over the years really has expanded hugely, and it's just a perfect location for any kind of secret development. It's so remote that hardly anyone goes out there, and you can't really get close to Area 51 without running into the security perimeter. You have to be, the closest spot where you can actually see Area 51 is 26 miles away. That's called Tikaboo Peak, a mountaintop 26 miles away. So what if they want to do something that they really don't want the public to know about, that's the perfect place to do it.
So tell me, you've, obviously you get some vehicles, you drive down there. What did you find when you came out there? I heard that you uncovered some sensors in the ground or something?
Yeah, well, the first thing that you see really is the security patrolling the perimeter, and you see surveillance cameras. And then there are less obvious things that you really don't always see. For example, those road sensors that detect vehicles moving around on public roads. You have to understand that Area 51 is a security perimeter of more than 15 miles around the base of restricted area. And in addition to that, you still have the road sensors on public land as far away from the base or as far away from the perimeter as 10 miles.
Oh, on public. So if it's on public land, I mean, you can just dig that up, though. Didn't you take one of these home or something?
Well, no, we did not. Most certainly we didn't. That would be totally illegal. We did dig some of those sensors up. We took photos of the sensors. We published the photos on my website, which is dreamlandresort.com.
Now,
There's a lot of
if you dug these up, I mean, you could get a lot of money from them on eBay. Is that tempting at all to sell something like that?
No. It might be tempting, but I would be extra stupid to really sell one of those, to even steal one of those. They are government property, and the fact that they are being placed illegally on public land does not give me the right to take them.
Now, what about the FBI somehow got in contact with you? They were concerned that you were digging these things up. What did they have to say about that?
Yeah, well, the FBI got involved after we dug up some of the sensors, and their main concern was that we would tamper with the sensors and that we would, in fact, publish the exact location of the sensors and the frequencies that they operate on, which we never did. We just published the photos of the sensors on the website, made the fact known that, yes, there are sensors on public land. They are placed there without the knowledge of BLM, Bureau of Land Management, but we never violated the law, which is really reflected in the outcome of the whole investigation, which was zero. There was nothing coming out of it.
How did you find out what frequency they were operating on?
We used a device that's called a frequency counter that pretty much triggers on a frequency of a nearby transmitter.
Interesting. So,
in fact, as a result of our little investigation into the sensors, Area 51 Security was able to improve their security system and made those sensors much harder to find now.
oh, interesting.
So in a way, we really provided them a service, or we did them a favor in pointing out a weakness in their security system.
What is your personal beliefs on exactly what is there now? I mean, you've seen certain UFOs in the sky. Do you buy into any of this? I've heard a lot of I'm sure you've heard of Bob Lazar and what he has to say about there being aliens on Area 51. What's your take on all that?
As far as I'm concerned, there are no aliens at Area 51. There are no UFOs at Area 51. There's a lot of things going on there that are not really known to the public, that the public is not familiar with. So a lot of people come up there, they see strange things, they don't know what it is, and they declare it's a UFO.
I see.
That doesn't necessarily make it an alien spaceship from Zeta Reticuli or some other place. It just means that it's something that the viewer is not familiar with. And of course, due to the remoteness of the location, anyone can make up whatever story they want to make up about Area 51. You can't prove or disprove anything. You can claim there's UFOs there, you can claim that they are cloning alien hybrids there, but as far as I'm concerned, and there's a lot of proof for this on my website actually, there's a lot of military research and development going on there, high-tech development.
Now, you said that it took you a while to get up there. If our viewers, say, want to go check this place out, how long's the hike, and what's it like getting up there? Can they get a map from your website on how to hike up there?
Absolutely. There's a whole maps section on my website. If you go to dreamlandresort.com, there's a button bar on the left-hand side. One of the buttons is Maps, and if you click on that, you see maps coming up there from Las Vegas. You see maps how to get up to Tikaboo Peak, which is the closest view spot. I mentioned it earlier, 26 miles away from the base. There's also maps how to get to the perimeter of Area 51.
Excellent.
And one thing we paid close attention to is to show people exactly how far they can go and where they should not go, because it's very... When you get there, it's not immediately obvious if you're on public land or if you're already penetrating the perimeter.
And you don't want anybody getting arrested or anything like that. Well,
absolutely not.
Jorg, we're out of time, but I thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
More information and pictures are available at his site, dreamlandresort.com. Now, still to come, we got our hands on Intel's brand new CPUs. How fast are they, and is it time to upgrade? We'll find out later on. And up next, save some cash with our next caller. He's looking for a good CPU upgrade for school. That's all when the Screensavers continues. I just spilled water all over the freaking desk between the breaks, so
and then you've been using this like wet paper towel, so now there's like
it's
evenly
working.
spread.
It's cleaning up. It's looking nicer than it was. There we go. Ooh. Don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party.
Powered by NVIDIA.
The game is Nova Logic's Joint Ops, the full version this time. It's going to be a 150-player server.
Wow.
We're playing the new advanced and secure game type. Each team must capture a series of waypoints in order to win. So go to g4techtv.com/LAN party and click on register for the LAN party, and we will see you this Thursday for the Screensavers LAN party. Cool game, but graphics not so good.
Really?
Graphics kind of janky, gun doesn't really move. Just not really what I like to see.
Not your favorite.
But it's cool that you can have 150 people in there, because when you have jank graphics, it's easier to, you know, do the whole multiplayer thing maybe. I don't know.
We'll find out more as we play it this week.
That's right.
Reed joins us on the phone from Northridge, California.
Hey, Reed.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Pat.
What's up?
Oh, nothing much. Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
You forgot the kilts.
Yes, he did forget the kills.
You know what?
What happened, man?
I've been a little disorganized the last couple of days. I will get the kilt.
There's some of Morgan's skirts in the dressing room. I can pull one out in between the break. We'll pull one
What,
out.
am I going to wear it on one leg?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Oh, man.
I don't want to see that either.
No. Reed, you've all taken us to a horrible visual place. Take us to a wonderful technical place. Ask us help.
All right. I want to upgrade my computer from an Athlon 2000 to a AMD 64 processor.
Uh-huh.
And tomorrow I'm actually going to be starting school at ITT Tech tomorrow for
Cool.
multimedia graphics and design. I'm going to practically be working in gaming, you could say.
Very cool. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, is like the 64 processor really kind of going to be a lot what I'm going to get for what I'm going to do?
I'll be honest with you, is right now, you've got an Athlon XP 2800.
Yeah.
Man, I'd almost sit on that for a few months, you know, and buy, you know, get a faster processor in 6 months, because you're not going to notice a monster improvement between that and an Athlon 64. I mean, what are you going to be running? Do you know what application you're going to be using?
I'm not really sure, but I think I'm going to mostly be using like a lot of, I guess you could say a lot of first part, like, I'm not really sure. I know I did go to an orientation.
Stop.
And I did
Hold
get
on.
a lot of good
Right
stuff.
there, Reed. Stop.
All right.
Okay. Now, you just basically said you're not sure what you're going to be using, which means you don't know how much memory you got in that system.
512.
Okay, right now, let's just take the money, put it in the bank,
Okay.
leave it there.
Or save it for some beer or something like that.
Exactly. Or pay off your tuition with it, or your car insurance, and sit on it for right now, and start using the programs. Figure out what programs you're actually going to be using, and then find out whether or not the program is going to benefit more from a little bit more processor or a lot more memory, or if there's something else that might actually improve the performance more. If it was video gaming, I'd say, well, what kind of graphics card do you have? You know, go up to a gigabyte of memory. But if you're using like unspecified, you know, 3D graphics or Photoshop, you know what I mean? Photoshop, the processor difference is going to be a lot less noticeable than going up to like 2 gigabytes of RAM. You know, with what, you know, 3D rendering applications or you know, programming application you might be using, something else might be of more benefit.
Yeah.
So right now, I'd say hold off on updating the computer until you know what applications you're going to be using, because you might like start out in like a 3D rendering class, decide you absolutely hate 3D rendering, and the worst thing you've ever seen are spline NURBS, and you don't want to ever touch them again, and you may be moving on to something else.
Good advice, definitely.
Yeah, sit on that, wait, see what you like, and see what programs you're going to be using, and then decide what to upgrade based on what those programs need.
I still say throw a Kager the second you get there. You make a lot of friends.
The man speaks truth.
And here is Sarah with a quick tip.
You know, Patrick, this seems kind of Scottish. You can totally borrow this for the rest of the show if you want.
Great, so one of Morgan's skirt on my right leg and your skirt on my left leg.
I mean, it's a little long on me, but on you, it might be kind of, you know, mid-thigh. Super cute. Just kidding, Patrick. So you think your AMD 64 or Pentium 4 Extreme Edition CPUs can't be beat? Think again, my friends, because compared to the world's supercomputers, they got nothing. To get a list of the top 500 computers and their histories and links to their websites, go to top500.org. You'll learn the ins and outs of how they perform, how they're benchmarked and judged, and even a news section to keep you up to date. How fun is that? Now, coming up in the show, turn your USB thumb drive into a secure password vault. And after the break, Intel releases new processors and motherboards. We're going to check them out when the Screensavers continue.
Welcome back Welcome to Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up in this half hour, Kevin shows you how to turn your USB thumb drive into a password vault, and of course more of your very live calls. Right now though, today Intel, they've finally released it. We've been waiting for them, PCI Express motherboards. Yes, we like that. There's just one problem. Actually, there's a lot of problems. Robert Heron joins us here from the lab rat extraordinaire. Welcome back, Robert. Now, we've all been waiting, like PCI Express. It's the next big thing. Don't buy a high-end motherboard until we've seen what PCI Express boards do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Intel's new baby. They had kicked it off late last week, and today everyone can talk about it in terms of numbers and whatnot. And it's essentially a new socket design for the CPU, basically a new chip design as well that'll go in that socket. And if you want, we can start off showing that. Of course, like you mentioned, DDR2 memory. Yeah, look at that. A lid to hold your socket. Now, if you carefully edge that baby out of there, flip it over.
Look at that. No more pins to break. It's
pinless.
Is that a 951? 925? 925 pins?
No, 775.
775.
There you go. 775. The pins now are within the motherboard itself, so you're pressing up with all those little. No, you can't barely even see it.
They're like little brass feet that stick up from there.
Nice and flat on the bottom. It gives them a little more room to put a bigger chip in the same size die package.
And it means, you know, no more bending pins if you put a processor down on the ground.
People are questioning whether or not having the pins in the motherboard, if you damage the motherboard, it's more difficult to replace the motherboard than it is just the CPU, but the CPUs tend to be the most expensive parts.
Right.
So there you go. The other thing too, DDR2 memory. Here's our current DDR1.
That's like twice as good as DDR memory, right?
Yeah, well, currently no. This is running at 533 megahertz compared to 400 megahertz.
However, the latencies are so high.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to remember. When you talk about memories, you really have to talk about the latency or how quick per instruction they can turn things around.
So for like high-end DDR memory, we're talking about like a CAS 222 or 232?
The DDR2 right now is in the 4s compared to your best DDR1 memories, which are down in the 2s. And that, it's not necessarily 2x performance, but it's significant in performance. It basically allows the best 875 systems, our current Intel generation, to keep pace with this board, no problem in memory benchmarks because of the latency. Of course, as DDR rolls along, it's going to become, they're going to improve it and bring up faster
over time, basically what we're looking at here is, and we should probably point out the PCI Express slots while we're on here, the little tiny pieces of fuzz fall from the ceiling.
It's all right. Actually, the new black slot is the new X16 graphics slot. And what that is everyone's talking about your little new slot there. It looks a lot like an AGP slot, but it's not. That'll work in conjunction with the new graphics cards coming up from
It's a pretty big slot. Those are PCI, the white PCI slots above that. If we slide up just a little bit.
4 gigahertz up and down, gigabytes per second up and down. Then you have a couple of PCI slots, the white slots right there, and then the new X1 slots, the little black ones. On a motherboard, it looks kind of ridiculous. Those essentially give you the same performance as the PCI slots you see right below that.
Wow.
The big thing, I think, more than just desktop boards, will be notebook designs. Notebook manufacturers have been waiting a long time for 1X PCI to come out just because of its smaller form factor, and it's a better fit, I think, for notebook computers as well, and they're really happy about that.
Other than the physical connections, what's the biggest difference between PCI Express and PCI?
The new form factor, it's a serial connection as well, so that gives
so
you
like
some benefits there.
1394.
In a sense, it is, really. But I think, really, going down the road, you're going to see unique high-bandwidth applications. Off the top of my head, it's things like video streaming. Being able to plug a capture card in that can deal with multiple high-definition streams and process that on board.
That would be nice.
This could become a really interesting board for the home theater PC market.
Now, when we say could become, it's the other interesting thing is in terms of graphics performance, there's currently, well, actually, there's two issues. One, there's no real difference in performance between AGP, 8X or the top-of-the-line AGP
From
cards
the benchmarks floating around. That,
PCI Express.
You can't buy the PCI Express cards yet.
That's an important one. And there's not even any major system manufacturers that are selling PCI Express-based systems yet.
Not yet, although they, of course, today, because it's the announcement date, I've already seen messages from 2 companies.
Right.
Like Dell and Alienware have already said they have systems ready to go. Where the graphics cards are going to be in this whole lineup remains to be seen.
New power supply designs, or?
Well, it's moving more and more toward a server-like power supply. That's the one you have in your hand right there is actually the current power supply that you find on most average computers. This one actually incorporates 4 extra pins. So if you see there, this is the 24-pin cord, and compared to the 20-pin cord, not a big deal. And actually, the blue one you have will plug into the new motherboard design with some additional power connections to make up for the missing pins right there. The one that gets me, though, is kind of interesting, is this brand new, this is for the video cards now. All the new PCI Express video cards have this little dandy 6-pin plug, which
So no
excuse
more
my
using
skin
your
knuckles
Molex.
from- Yeah, actually they will include a adapter so you can plug 2 4-pin power cables into one to get this 6.
So basically,
if you're going to make the transition to the new motherboard,
and you don't want to buy a
you
new
should
power
expect some new
supply,
parts to go along with it.
you're going to have to buy some extra pins to turn this into one of these.
Yeah, but the cool thing, like I said though, that blue one will plug in. It takes up just 20 of the 24, and then you have to add a couple of traditional power connectors for that.
Kyle at Hard OCP basically said, wow, I've run like, what was it, 160, 190 benchmarks to basically see
He did a lot of
no
work.
real difference from...
Traditionally, like with this benchmark you're looking at right there, that's for video encoding, going from MPEG 4, or transcoding video from MPEG 2 to MPEG 4. Intel performance usually dominates in this particular field, but if you want to hit Alt-Tab on that, I have a game benchmark up there that just goes, this is, oh, that was lower is better, this is higher is better. So you're looking at game performance, and AMD has just had it for a while with their FX parts. They are some of the best performance when it comes to games.
So are the green ones, just for the folks at home, are the green ones the Athlon parts? Okay.
Yeah, green is Athlon, blue is AMD.
That's pretty good.
Blue is Intel, excuse me. A couple other key points though, Intel, they did a lot to this. This is their high-end board, the 925. They also have a 915 version that we have in this case. That's the more mainstream part. It will use either DDR or DDR2 memory. 7.1 audio, that is one of my favorite things they've finally done on a motherboard. It remains to be seen what formats you can actually output from this. I'm sure it's going to be Dolby Pro Logic 2.
Right.
I'm curious to see if they'll actually implement like a Dolby 5.1 out. They do have optical.
So they're kind of
and other
catching up to
digital
the Enforce motherboards.
Yeah, but the 7.1 audio, heard some great demonstrations of that. Terrific. They were streaming 2 simultaneous HD streams with surround sound. And
Bottom line, we got to scoot.
Yeah.
Do you buy PCI Express when it's available just to have the PCI Express slot, or do you hold off?
I personally would hold off for just a little while. Wait for the cards to show up. Wait for the parts. I want to see better memory speeds. I want to see graphics cards. And I also want to see native command queuing, which is a hard drive technology that it's really Seagate supporting it full bore right now, but I want to see some other vendors pop up in there as well.
The man has the information. Robert Heron, our tech analyst and lab rat of choice when we're talking benchmarks. Thanks to our friends over at hardocp.com who put up a great review with extensive benchmarks. Check it out, hardocp.com. Check out Kyle's work. There we are. Next caller wants his computer and Xbox to talk to each other. Kevin's going to show him how. But up next, turn your USB thumb drive into an untouchable password vault. Kevin's got a dark tip when the Screensavers continues.
Is your house in need of a tech makeover? Enter now to win a $100,000 home tech makeover, in addition to daily cash prizes from G4 Tech TV, brought to you by Circuit City and Yahoo. All you have to do is watch G4 Tech TV every night from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern, June 14th through June 27th, and look for the special codes in our Digital Digs commercials. Then go to g4techtv.com/Digital Digs to enter. There are 4 new codes each night with 4 chances to enter. The more you enter, the more chances you have to win. This is the last week to enter, so keep watching G4 Tech TV.
You're like me, you have different passwords for different accounts. I have different passwords for my online banking than I do all my different websites.
Because you know just how easy it is to crack one password
Yes,
and then
indeed.
try it on every other account just to see what else works.
It can be very dangerous if you're using the same thing for every account, and I always recommend, using a combination of upper and lowercase characters mixed with like numbers and letters
and symbols.
And those are hard to remember. So I decided
Impossible,
in fact. So I decided to come up with an application I found, this one really great, called KeyPass. It's a password vault. Basically, you remember one password and it unlocks all of your encrypted passwords that you have within it.
It's kind of like a cheat sheet.
Yeah, exactly. I've always kept mine in like text files and like Excel documents, and I'm always worried if somebody gets in there.
All you got to do is leave your desktop exposed just once.
It's over with. But take a look at this here. This is KeyPass, and it's different than your average little password vault, and I'll show you why. We'll create a new database here, and it's going to say, now, would you like to create a password here to secure all of your passwords, or you can secure it by using a disk right here. So we're going to say disk. Now, this may not make sense at first, but we're going to say F drive and click OK. So it is going to store all that information. I'm going to generate a random password with my mouse here. That's going to generate the password. You move this around, creates a completely random password, and it's going to store all that information onto my removable thumb drive. So the password is on the removable thumb drive. Not the actual accounts, but the main password itself. So why this is cool is, let's say that you're leaving your house and you unplug your thumb drive from your computer. So I just take this out. Instantly, all my passwords are securely locked on my desktop but they don't go with me. So if I lose this, I'm still okay. But see what I'm saying there? So it's completely secure.
I mean, basically,
that's your key.
You've turned your thumb drive into a physical key that locks down your digital passwords that are in the KeyPass program on your computer.
Exactly. Another thing it can do also is you can install the application directly onto that, and so you can run it from that if you take your passwords with you on the go from different friends' houses.
If I lose this, or if I get rolled in Vegas and somebody takes this from me, will I ever be able to get back into KeyPass again?
The best thing to do is to normally back up. You can back up this key, burn it to a CD, and hide it somewhere in your house.
Put it in the safety deposit box.
Put it in a safety deposit box. Put it underneath the carpet somewhere. Just get rid of it. Get it out of sight. So if somebody breaks in and steals your CPU, they're not going to have access to your passwords.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. But let me show you the other cool thing it does. We've created a new entry here, and you'll see on the left-hand side, here's where you can store all your different passwords. We have email, internet, network. You can create new different entries if you want for different types of passwords. Here, let's just say this is my Yahoo password. I'm going to say username Kevin Rose. My website is yahoo.com. I'll put in a password here, and here it's going to tell me how strong my encryption is on that password. Here it's 43 bits because of its length. And I'm going to click OK at the bottom. Now what it's done is it's created this new account here, which looks just fine and dandy. Now you can launch the account just by double-clicking here, or the better thing to do is you double-click and it copies the password to the clipboard. Now look down here. Take a look at here. It will be cleared in 7 seconds, so it only keeps it in your clipboard cache for just a few seconds, which is really cool because if, like, let's say you're pasting it into someone and someone walks up behind you to use the machine, they can just paste and there's your password again.
And you can also, in case you forget your original password, you maybe want to change your password or change account settings, you'll still be able to cut and paste the password from here into the open blank in the mail.
Exactly.
Cool.
Now also, if you, one other quick thing, if you minimize this, let's just say you're walking away from your computer, it puts it down in the tray. I'll say yes, I'll save it, blah, blah, blah. And then if you try to get back into it, it's going to ask you for the password to get back into it. In this case, it's the drive, and that would let me right back into the machine. It's pretty cool. It's completely open source. It's 100% free, KeyPass that is. You can get the entire article I wrote up about it and the links to download it at my site at kevinrose.com.
Outstanding.
Pretty cool. Open source. Gotta love that.
We love that. Right after the break, Brandon needs an FTP client so he can get OS X and his Xbox to talk to each other. Coming up right after these messages. Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Highlights from this year's Ultimate Gaming Convention, E3 TSS style. Plus, Sarah shows you how to read your Yahoo Mail using Outlook. And cyberpunk author Bruce Sterling discusses his latest book, Zenith Angle. It's all coming up on tomorrow's Encore edition of the Screensavers.
Pat, I found a couple of these backstage. Do you like the flower print better or the black with the little cargo pockets?
You know, I'm thinking I could really drop the ratings right through the floor and get a call from the FCC. They'd be like, we don't regulate cable, but in your case, we're going to regulate you.
$500 you put it on between the break. Audience, you think you should put it on?
It won't fit. Audience, I'll put it on now, but it won't fit.
Maybe we can stitch a couple of these together and get
Here, watch. This will like fit around an ankle.
Are you really going to try this?
Whose are these?
I have no idea.
We should put these back before they see this.
These aren't yours, right?
I think they're Swishers.
Oh, they're Swishers. Oops, sorry, Laura. Oh, are they?
Sorry
right there. Sorry, Laura. Sorry about that.
Laura's like, unhand my skirt, you scoundrels. Brandon joins us on the phone from Shingletown, California.
Brandon?
Hey, Brandon.
Hello.
Would you like to buy a skirt? I'm selling them here. I'll put them on eBay later.
No, I'm straight.
You're good?
Okay.
All right.
I need to get my laptop, my Mac laptop, to speak with my Xbox so I can transfer the Bert and Ernie fonts over to it so I can install Evo X.
Ah, he's doing a little hacking.
Man, got a... Brandon, I don't know if you can hear the giggling on the set, but our crew seems to find the whole idea of the Bert and Ernie font hack highly amusing. Either that or there's some scary skirt humor going on.
This is the way you have to hack the Xbox. For the OS X, the one that we like is, that I've used in the past, is Transmit 2. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to play around with this.
No.
It's really cool. You can go to panic.com.
Okay.
These guys, they're out of Portland, Oregon. They make some really good software. Pretty cool stuff. The entire core is built off an open source engine, a Unix engine. Also, to let you know, you can go to your terminal command prompt and do it right from the terminal, just to FTP.
No, I'm not that good.
Okay, you're not in the terminal. So this is the route for you then. Panic.com is the URL you want to check out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and they have a free little 30-day trial. So give it a try if it's what you want, and if you think you'll use it later, go ahead and purchase it. But if not, you can always remove it as well.
Brandon, it's just that easy.
But Thanks for the call, Brandon.
Now here's Leo with a quick file sharing tip.
Leo?
You guys talked the other day about BitTorrent, which is a great way to kind of use peer-to-peer file sharing to improve download speeds. The same techniques that are used to spread Madonna's latest hit around can be used to spread any file around legally and offload it from any one person's server. Now, BitTorrent is a great idea, but without a BitTorrent client, you can't really participate. I'm going to recommend this one. It's called Azurius, and it's currently one of the most popular downloads on SourceForge. Absolutely free. It's open source. It's Java, so you know it doesn't have any spyware or any junk written into it. There's no ads or anything. It's just a very easy-to-use, high-quality client. This is Windows, Mac, and Linux, and that's one of the advantages of Java. I'm going to show you the configuration wizard right now. I've just installed Azurius. Azurius is a blue frog, by the way. You tell it how fast your line is. You can throttle down the maximum upload speeds or tell it how many active downloads and uploads there should be. You can also change the port if you want. You should use the standard port unless you've got some specialized application. And that's all it is. Now that Azurius is running in the background, the BitTorrent files I want to download will come in faster, and I'm helping the world by sharing my bandwidth to spread big files around for people who don't want to kill their server bandwidth. Azurius, when you need a BitTorrent client, this is the one I recommend. Back to you guys.
That's a great application. I love that application.
Leo gets all breathy about it.
Yes, he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay where you are. Next up, we check our inbox to see what's on your minds. Coming up on the Screensavers. It's that time, Sarah. What's in the email pile?
I do. Remember what I wanted at the beginning of the show?
Yeah, the ringtone. Nice. How'd you get that?
It's a secret. No, actually, I have to give it up for my friend Jade, who sent it to me. I said, if you give it to me by the end of the show, I'll give you a shout-out. So.
Round of applause for Jade.
I love it. My life is complete. Okay, moving on. We got a couple emails about this whole Gmail, Hotmail thing. Lance says, the article about Hotmail blocking Gmail is pure crap. I got my invite today on Hotmail. Just fine, no problems. And Don says, I don't think it's necessarily a plot by Microsoft to keep people out of Gmail, since an invitation to Gmail is technically spam. What do you guys think about that?
It's not the invitations for Gmail aren't technically spam because they're individual invitations from a friend of yours to join Gmail.
Google's not actually going out and sending out these emails like, join our service, like spamming anyone. No.
Basically, someone you know would like to offer you this fine email account.
I think Microsoft has turned it off. I think they were doing it at first.
You never know.
Conspiracy.
We'll probably never know.
It's true.
But you know what? One more thing to worry about.
That's right.
Sarah?
Next one from Stevie. He says, I'm buying a custom Alienware computer. I need to choose from some video cards. I want to know what you guys think is the best for my gaming needs. He's written a bunch. Do you have any ideas before I list them all?
I saw that one, and the problem is he doesn't tell us what video games he plays. But basically, it's all like, the ATI X8. Basically, it's like a 9600, a 9800, an X800, or X800 XT.
What if he's playing Tetris?
Yeah, you don't need any of them. Well, you need some kind of graphics card, but you don't need 3D gaming. But assuming you want to be able to play Far Cry and Doom 3 whenever it ships and all that good stuff, buy the best card you can afford, at least if you're going to have a monitor bigger than 17 inches so you can play at gaming resolutions higher than 1024 by 768. You got a cheap 17-inch monitor, get the cheap card.
Very cool.
That's it.
That is it.
We got to go.
This edition of the Screensavers, I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to thank our guests. Well, we'd like to thank York.
Yorg. That's a hard.
We'll see you next time.
Have
a great night. We got a lovely audience tonight.
Coming up next, Pulse, followed by the Electric Playground at 9 and Judgment Day at 9:30.